Hello, it is Tamika. I'm actually posting a video response as promised to a question that Bandit Wendy here on YouTube or Proof WLS Works YouTube over on Facebook posted this morning in Facebook. So Wendy posted this question over in Facebook this morning, and when I saw it, I thought, you know what, and I said, my response was, that deserves a video response. I just didn't see me typing out the response and doing it any justice. So the question is, how many of you honestly pick protein first? Let me know and tell me how far post-op you are. When you do pick protein first, how do you decide how much is good? And what do you use to decide which protein to pick? Okay, so here's my response. Typically, the way that I approach shopping or eating out in general is I make sure that I'm picking good quality food, which was one of my lab band rules. And absolutely 100% I make sure that I eat protein first, which is another one of my lab band rules. And I make sure that I stay within the 65 to 80 grams of protein a day, which is another rule. So I do follow those rules. I will be 16 months in a few days. So today is the 2nd, and on the 9th I'll be 16 months post-op from lap band surgery that I had on November 9th, 2009. Let's see, how do I approach protein? I basically say, okay, if I'm supposed to have between 65 and 80 grams of protein a day, I try to make sure that each meal at least hits between 20 and 30 grams of protein per meal. I'm a lap bander, and in the morning our lap bands are tight for the most part. That's pretty consistent throughout the community. Lots of people talk about that, especially if you're at an optimal fill level. And so in the morning, for whatever reason, it's just one of those things with the band. Sometimes it's hard for us to eat. So there's a tendency for me to sort of gravitate towards Greek yogurt. I like to even sometimes add peanut flour to my Greek yogurt. Peanut flour has done wonders for me in terms of making sure that I get my protein in. I typically get it from Trader Joe's. I went to Trader Joe's this Sunday to do some shopping, and I didn't find it on the shelf. Devastated. Called a couple people over to search in the back for some. I was literally going to buy a case of this stuff to make sure that I have it, because I love it. Fourth a cup is 110 calories and 16 grams of protein. So I'll take a Chobani Greek yogurt that already has about 15 grams of protein, mix the fourth a cup in. Delicious to me, gives me an instant protein boost in the morning. Love it. So, back to what I was saying, usually in the morning I will either gravitate towards a softer protein, but protein nonetheless. It might be some eggs with cheese. It might be, again, the yogurts. It might be your cottage cheeses and things like that. But I'm always looking for protein. I did the 21 Days to Loving You Better challenge leading into February. And on one of the days I talked about mottos and, what motto have we sort of created or developed for ourselves while we're on our weight loss journey. And one of mine that I shared was, don't waste your space. And for me, it means, it's pretty simple. I don't waste my pouch space with things that are not lining up with my rules, specifically the rule about protein. So I'm not going to go out and eat a cup of mashed potatoes. Number one, I'll be sick. And number two, that's not getting me, it's not going to help get me where I need to be for my protein requirements for the day. So, another one of my rules is, and when I'm saying my rules, these are not rules that I made up, but these are rules that were actually given to me by my surgeon, and they are rules that line up with lapband.com's, the manufacturer of my band, their requirements on their website. And whatever I put in my mouth needs to line up with my calorie requirements for the day as well as my protein requirements for the day. So I am making sure that I eat protein first at all times. Protein first, protein first, protein first. Let's see. The phone keeps ringing. Let's see. How do I pick proteins? I try to eat as clean as possible. I try to pick proteins that are, lots of dairy, your various different types of meat, cheeses. I always have in my refrigerator at least 5 different types of cheeses. I'm the type of person who gets bored very quickly, and I like variety. So lots of different variety in terms of dairy. Those are some of the sort of basics in the refrigerator. And then I always make sure that I have either fresh fish, seafood, poultry, meat, just good solid meat protein. And then I gravitate towards your legumes, beans, lentils, those types of things for protein. And another thing that I've gotten into here lately is just whole grains, because a lot of times things like couscous and quinoa, of course, have protein in them. And so, I follow the rule of no rice and no pasta, which is something that I was instructed by my dietitian, so I don't eat that. But I do gravitate towards sort of softer, whole grains. Complex carbs, I don't really necessarily eat, your basic type of carbs, things like that. So another thing that I do is I always make sure that I have canned protein around, so that, I work from home, I'm here, and I don't want to fill my cabinets with things that don't necessarily make sense. So from the time that I'm in the store, I'm making sure I'm looking at nutritional facts, I'm reading calories, I'm reading protein levels, and I'm making sure that that stuff lines up with my plan before I even buy it. Before I even put it in my basket, buy it and bring it home, I make sure that these things are sort of lining up. So if I'm picking a meat, does it have enough protein? Is it going to get me close to that between 20 and 30 count that I'm aiming for? Now let me tell you, today is a perfect day where I started off, I sort of had a taste for something, didn't really think about the calories too much, and I do log my calories in Livestrong. It is just a wonderful tool for me. I'm a person who logs my food. It was recommended by dietitians, my surgeon, and so it's something that I practice. I find that when I have gotten off track with that, I'm not eating what I think that I'm eating. I'm eating either more calories, or I'm not eating enough protein, or I'm eating too much fat. Something gets thrown off when I don't track my calories, and it's one thing that I really encourage clients to do when I first start coaching in the area of lap band success, is that make sure that you are tracking your calories, because people are very surprised to see what they actually eat when they start tracking. We think we're eating 1,000 calories. In the end, it's really like 3,000 calories. So I practice it. It works for me. It's one of those things. Once you do something and you do it and you do it and you do it, it becomes a habit. So it's not a pain for me. Livestrong is on all day, and as I eat, I just put in what I ate. The database is really great there. Most everything that I eat is already in there. I think I've only had to add something maybe once or twice. So that works really good for me. Now, you know what? Let me go ahead and show you what my day looked like in Livestrong. It would be good maybe if I could see as well. So let me make sure you're where you need to be. Okay. And so this is really sort of what it looks like. And I just sort of log. So I have my breakfast in there. And my breakfast, I started off a little wrong because I had 98 calories and I only had 10.6 grams of protein. I already told you what I aimed for, but let me show you how I made up for that. Lunch, I had 290 calories and 20 grams of protein. Did good. Dinner, I had 270 calories and 25 grams of protein. So what I did was I had an evening protein drink. So I had a cup of Hood Calorie Countdown, a scoop of Designer Way chocolate protein, and that actually got me up 26 more. You know what? I missed something because I also had some peanut flour in there. So I missed that. Let's see. Let me go ahead and turn you guys back around. Alright. So that's basically how I approach this thing. Clean food, protein first. I try not to eat too much processed stuff. When I'm getting sort of processed prepared food, for the most part I'm buying it from Trader Joe's, where there's not a whole bunch of extra junk added to it. And that's how I live my life. It works for me. It definitely works for me. And I can say that I'm a person that knows when I don't have enough protein in my body. If I go a few days and I don't have enough protein in my body, I feel weird. My hair looks different. My face, you know, sort of gets weird. My skin. And so, you know, I'm a big proponent of protein. I wouldn't say that I'm like, you know, Atkins. I wouldn't say that. But I would say that I eat, the majority of my food is protein. It works for me, doesn't do me anything. My kidneys and everything is alright. Liver and all that kind of stuff gets tested regularly. Just because of some other medication that I'm on. And I don't have any side effects so far from eating the way that I eat. And I do, like I said, I do eat complex carbs. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. And I hope that answered your question. Oh, another thing, because I get sort of asked this question probably once a week. How many calories do you eat? And usually I'll say between 700, 900, 1,000. You know, it all really depends. Like today, I ate a total of 794 calories. And again, let's see, my last little drink was 135 of that. So I ate 3 meals. You know, it doesn't really take a whole bunch of calories sometimes. And right now, I'm not exercising. Haven't exercised since September. And so in order for me to stay on track, and in order for me not to gain weight, I have to eat. And I have to make sure that I know what I'm eating. And I have to make sure that my calories are tight. If I don't eat enough, or if I eat too much, then my scale does weird things. And so in order to maintain, like I have been doing since August of 2010, I track my calories. And it works for me. So, and my protein. So I'm a calorie and protein. I post my food all the time on Facebook. And you'll see me saying calorie and protein. You don't really see me saying anything else, because those are the two things that are important to me. Alright, I hope that helps you guys. And Wendy, I hope that answered your question. I saw all of the other posts. I think that was a wonderful question to ask. It was interesting to see that a lot of what people said is what I do and what I just said. So, but I like to talk better than type sometimes. Alright, I'll catch you guys later. Bye.